Excellent. Okay, we're good. I'm just checking my audio signals are in. We're good. एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभव निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच वाहिगुरु 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 जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। नानक सहज मिलै जग जीवन अदर करो निस्ताराई कर दास पाठ की रत की गुरु रामदास राखो शरणाई। Okay, good evening, welcome back to Indrakud. This is 16th January 2025 and I'm running low on my keyboard battery. It's saying battery status low, so just give me a minute, I will plug in my keyboard. Okay, we lost. I'm guessing the audio is still here, but I've lost. Okay, I can't have two of these devices connected. Oh dear, that is sad. Rate is accepted. Sorry, very weird problems. Okay, I messed up. It all started when I saw that there was a green light. And now I can't switch scenes. Why is this happening today? I just cannot switch scenes now. Okay, these are signs pretty much against any sort of optimized stream to happen, so I'm just gonna roll with whatever it is that I want to document. The title of the stream is very close to launching the mogrt. I'm gonna hope that it's just working enough. Even if it doesn't, I can use the mouse to show, because I connected the keyboard, plugged it in, but then for some reason my phone is not getting accepted or whatever, I don't know. It's kind of messed up. So how much progress have we made today? The whole day today was spent working on this, and I can't even. Okay, this is good. I'm doing it with the mouse. So text animator mogrt continued. Remove d equals since no individual margins now. Fixed text position snap from 0 to 1. This was the majority work today because I had to take my notebook out. And if you can see, I think there's going to be exposure problems, but I cannot fix it. Maybe I can. So what you do is go into settings, bring the brightness. Yeah. So you see, I made some dry runs to figure this particular part out. How is it that I'm seeing? Okay, because I'm showing IV cam. Dry runs to figure this part out, and now everything is very dark. So I need to just double clicking fixes it. No. Wow, this stream is so all over the place. Cannot believe it. Anyway, it's all because this Okay, my keyboard has completely, no, it is still responding. So we're just gonna turn this off. So I did some dry run for that to fix that out, replacing position X position Y with XY point, fade type, fade out and blur out, fade offset. This was just an additional off the bat thing, and then styling, drop shadow, glow, blend modes. I've done it for one layer. For the other layers, it's a matter of duplicating it, but it's still a lot of work. And then animation, stop motion. This is something that is left to be done. That's the only thing which I'm believing that is left to be done here. So if I was to show you the status of the mogrt right now, on the right side you see the mogrt, and on the left side you see all of the controls that come with it. There are again 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fine tune, don't think about it so much, but 6 of them here. We start with the source text, where you'll have the ability to change all of your text on the fly, along with a tracking parameter which doesn't come with these built-in parameters. So that's a separate slider. There's too many sliders in this mogrt. Then there is align. This is probably the most computationally intensive part of the whole mogrt, where I'm going to show you how beautifully this works. So currently right now the alignment is at rows, so you see that row alignment here. Row alignment can be left, which is what it is right now. It can be center, it can be right, and all of this just happens on the fly. Okay, I can go to columns. Columns would be like this. That is your vertical, horizontal, whatever distribution. Columns can be aligned to the top, to the center, to the bottom. And while all of these are here, you can come in here, and this is your position heading. If you hold down control and move, you can move the position around in the X or in the Y, and everything will move along with it, because that's a parent hierarchy structure. However, when it comes to these, right, you have this equal margin, so that's how equally spaced out they are. Let me do it for rows so it's a little easier to understand. Equal margin is how equally spaced out they are, but you can come in here and place with these position sliders. So if you hold on control, and this works very well in After Effects, I don't know if that is the case with Premiere mogarts. Well, that's something, well, once we're testing it, that will come across. But when you play with these sliders of position, from the point that you are, you're going to move to, if you go all the way down to -10, because we've clamped these sliders to -10 and +10. From -10 to +10, you're going to go to the left, right, top, bottom bounds of your composition. So essentially what we can do is, if this was left align, rows left align, very easily you can come in here, you can make a kind of staggered text alignment, something like this, and you can take it a step further, where you can come into animation. You can say animate on. Okay, so when we have animate on selected, basis whatever it is, so inside animation, this fade type is something that I've added, but animation in is taking 1 second to animate, so everything is going to come in 1 second. The animation offset is also at 1, so after 1 second. So what we'll have to do is fade out from, we'll have to keep it to like 7 seconds at least, so you can at least see all of the words coming up. So all these words are going to animate one by one with the offset which is defined here, fade from. Okay, and how they're animated is, you can come in here, you can change all of these. So you have 3 options: ramp up, and then ramp up basis. You can change based on characters, words, lines, or you can do simple typewriter. And the third one, I think I'll add tracking flicker, because tracking flicker is beautiful the way it looks, but I'll just have to remember how the animator was working there. So you have all these options here. Okay, when you want to animate, like how you want to animate these. And the thing that I worked on today was fade type, right? So what we can do is, we can fade in 2 different types. Either we can fade basis opacity, which is what is selected right now. So you see fade from is happening first from 7, and fade duration is 0.5, and fade offset is 0.5. So after 7 seconds, you will see that all of these will fade out with an offset of 0.5. So after 0.5 seconds of the preceding word, the current word will fade out. So that is amazing, right? You can do that. However, you can have individual things. So let's say I fade it out from 6, and my fade offset is not so much, so it's like 0.2 or something. Okay, so from 6 seconds you fade out and goes a little faster, so the stagger is going out a little faster. Now what you can do, instead of fading out like this, because right now it's just opacity going down, we can come in here and change this to blur. So what will happen is, instead of fading out, the heading will blur out. And you can do this for all these words. So let's say I just randomly pick word 2 and 4, so others will go out by opacity, but 2 and 4 will be blurred out, and all of this works just flawlessly. And what is also amazing is, there's this blur value at the top. If you take it all the way up to 500, it will affect all of the layers, because that is the only blur value I have here. That's amazing, right? I mean, just the fact that all of this is working so seamlessly, because I've been able to, especially for the layers, like the amount of coding I've done specifically using split. So in this particular mogrt, the coding was not so much like logic building and mental, but it was more like labor intensive, repetitive, a lot of sliders, a lot of checkboxes, a lot of this and a lot of that. And I have a feeling that when I take this mogrt into Premiere, it might just lag like crazy, and that will kind of defy the purpose of this mogrt, because we're trying to make it so that somebody can easily use it. But that's a separate thing, that's something to be decided later. So that was the other advancement today. You can animate it the way you want. Styling. So styling is kind of complicated, way too complicated in fact. So if I give you an example, I've added 3 styles. You can either add drop shadow, you can do drop shadow, you can do outer glow, you can do stroke, and you can also have all of them. So concentrate on the first word here, word 1. If I say drop shadow on, word 1 will get a drop shadow. Okay, you can control the opacity of it. Okay, 0 to 100. You can control the distance. I've just taken the parameters that are most useful in a drop shadow. So you can control the distance, and you can control the size, which basically blurs out or how soft the shadow is, and you can control the angle at which direction it is. So that's one thing. You can add drop shadow, you can add an outer glow to it. So right now what we have is we have a drop shadow plus an outer glow. You can turn the drop shadow off and just have an outer glow. And this is one thing, right? You will see that outer glow is having a problem. So if I turn it off, right, and I bring the stroke on, okay, this is something I'd learned today, is that stroke, for some reason, if this stroke size is at 0, right, when I put the stroke size to 0, this is something with After Effects layer styles, is even with the stroke size of 0, After Effects keeps a particular like 2-3 value for stroke, which is hard to wrap my head around. Like on ChatGPT it says use the stroke effect instead, because layer styles are limited in what you can do with them, and it's such a like a dead block when you hit that, like, man, I want to be able to do things but I can't. So wait, let me just get my scenes. So you wonder, like, I want to do these things, but then the final result you come to is that After Effects is not capable of doing that. And that happens so many times when working on these things. Anyway, so coming back to where we were, this situation, even if you turn stroke off, right, well, there's no stroke, but what is happening is my outer glow is getting a stroke. So the only way I cannot have this stroke on my outer glow is if I come into subheading 1 into my layer styles and I just unhide this. That is when it works fine. So I feel like I'll have to, because if I'm keeping this hidden, right, I'm having an unnecessary stroke around my word, which I don't want. So I think I will have to do away with the stroke layer style, or I will probably try adding a stroke effect, which, while we're on the subject here, maybe we can add a stroke effect on this. And right now the stroke effect works a little different. So stroke effect path, oh no, it's looking at path. I don't think this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for stroke something else. Stroke, 3D stroke, brush stroke, 3D stroke. No, please, it's doing trap code and stuff. How do we just add a stroke like in normal strokes? If my color is, I keep the color at black and I increase the brush size. There is nothing happening. How is this supposed to work? Paint style on, original, reveal on, transparent. We'll have to watch a Jake in Motion video on this. So it's looking at none, path none, all masks. There are no masks. You need me to add a mask and then you will make a stroke on top of that mask. Why is that? How do I add just a stroke around my text? Well, actually, you'll have to convert it into a shape and then do it, which is gonna break my mogrt because the text needs to be changed. Brush hardness, opacity, nothing is happening. Gaussian blur. Yeah, so this remains to be figured, because I don't want this stroke when I'm adding a glow. However, coming back to what I was trying to explain here, is you have these 3 layers of styling that you can add, and what I have to do is I'm gonna probably get rid of the stroke because it's not working for me the way I want it to, and then I have to do this for all the subheadings. And one thing I haven't touched yet is blend modes. So when I add blend modes, right, you can't just use expressions to set blend modes. What you'll have to do is for all of these here modes, for all of these blend modes, right, I will firstly have to pick which ones I want to expose, and then I have to add a drop down menu, and then for the number of blend modes I'm choosing, let's say even if I choose 2 from here, 2 2 2, that's 6 8 10, I'll have to make 10 copies of this text layer, and then for whenever the drop down menu is choosing, let's say darken, I have to take the opacity of the darken layer and then make it 100 and the other 0. It's just a nightmare, some of these things that you have to work around just because the creators of or the developers of After Effects decided we are not going to allow you to add expressions to this particular thing. You can add expressions to everything else, right? But blend modes you cannot change through expressions. Why? I don't know. Just because we want to make your life hell. Why? Because you choose to pay so much money to us to use our services. That's why we're going to make your life hell. That's put that on an Adobe t-shirt, like their tagline. Anyway, I don't know why I just maneuver into ranting about how terrible Adobe is every single time, but can't help it. Here's what we are at. And compare the After Effects and the ability to do coding inside After Effects with that with Fusion. Well, you gotta be happy with what you're getting. There's a lot more you get with After Effects in general, just in general. So that's where we are. Styling, and I'm gonna do styling, drop, shadow, glow, blend modes, and animation, stop motion tracking. We're into 17 minutes, and because my keyboard can die at any moment, I was thinking initially that in this stream I will actually just do a little bit of the remaining part, but I think I will take a leave today because that's what the universe is trying to say. So here's where we are. The mogrt is, I would say, 90% done. The last 10% is just finishing left. Then the major part that I have to work on is testing this mogrt, right? Because right now inside After Effects it's working very good. However, once I take it into Premiere, there will be certain nuances which, just in general, the things that work in our expression, like essential graphics, the sliders and everything, they're gonna just be wacky inside Premiere because that's how the softwares are, right? One thing works very well in After Effects, same thing taken in Premiere does its own garbage thing. So I'll have to figure that as well. And after I have completed testing the mogurts, then I can go ahead and start documentation for this, and then I can put the Vidhara video. So Vidhara is supposed to launch with this mogurt because this is the first mogurt that I gave away, and I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I was initially thinking next week end, but then I was also like, the more you wait to start something, the more it gets difficult to get started. So there's this quote that start before you are fully ready, right? Something like that. Start before you think you're fully ready. So it would be ideal if I could launch this mogurt along with the video that goes with it on Saturday EOD, so I can say Vidhara video comes every Saturday, comes out every Saturday. That would be really cool because that would mark the end of the first week of my leave, and in the first week itself, if I could have a ready product and have Vidhara started, that would be awesome. That would be amazing. And like I'd be like, I've done something valuable out of the leave situation that I've taken from the job. And I genuinely feel like this mogurt, if it works out the way I'm planning it to, is going to be very useful for a lot of Premiere editors who just for like adding some basic text animations have to go inside After Effects or do it that way, because I've done it all so many times because you can't do it inside Premiere. So that's what we're looking at. And what else? Was there something else? No, that's it. So thanks so much for being in the code. I will catch you in the next session. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.